pre-pod action right now. We're doing a lot of beach fishing, walking up and down the beach and catching bait. And you know, there's a few ways you can catch bait. We often cast net our bait, or we'll sabiki the baits up. You know, sometimes we look right past, you know, the simple techniques of doing a proper sabiki. I mean, it's no big deal, but if you haven't heard it before, this is something you definitely want to, you know, you want to be able to practice, you know, on a daily basis, especially when the bait's a little bit further out, or maybe the bait's very small and you only need a couple. Sabiki rig comes in very nicely. Now, here we have the Hayabusa Sabiki rigs. Right now with the smaller baits, I'm using a number 4. It's common practice to use red during the day and green during the later hours. Now, very simple, you want to take a medium to light action. Spin tackle rod works best for the beach. You don't have to worry about wind knots or anything like that. You're going to be casting into the wind, more than likely, and you're going to be casting at the bait, so you want to have something that's not too heavy where you can sling the sabiki out. According to how rough it is and how deep it is, you may want to go with a different weight, but that'll vary according to how deep and how much current. Most of the time I go with a real small weight. This is your standard number 4 sabiki with the red bead, and that's a 1/2 ounce barrel weight. Now, what I did with that one is I took a 20-pound test monofilament. I made a loop inside the barrel weight, and the small snap swivel that comes on the sabiki simply clips to that. You can also get, what we have is a teardrop weight with a little loop at the end. You don't have to worry about the monofilament loop to connect the swivel weight to it. So the key is, when you're tying on a sabiki, you want to do a very small knot. You don't want to do a leader before the sabiki, because the knot and the leader will often catch in the rod tip of the rod. So you want to make a real clean small knot. I'll use a 7 twist fisherman's knot, real easy, clinch knot some people call it. And this is 15-pound test, high vis. Go around 7 times. Regular fisherman knot, no big deal. But I want a knot that's going to cinch down and stay out of the way. How many times do you blow a clinch knot? But you want a small knot that's going to stay out of the way. It's not going to get hung up. One of the hardest things about catching bait with a sabiki is they're very, let's call it messy. They want to hook on things, nets, t-shirts, back of people's hats. So we have a Sabiki rig on 12-pound test spin tackle, 20-pound test loop through a barrel swivel, and now we're all set to cast that into the surf and get white baits. When you get the white baits, you're going to need a 5-gallon bucket with some fresh seawater in it. A bubbler will make a dozen baits go a long way, otherwise you're going to have to keep changing the water. But that's your typical Sabiki rig, and that's what we're going to be using during the pre-pod action.